Oiste is an organization whose mission it is to advance the political, social, and economic standing of Latinos in the state of Massachusetts. I'm here with Giovanna Negretti, who is stepping down after 10 years of serving as executive director of Oiste. How are you today, Giovanna?
Doing great, thanks.
Giovanna, 10 years ago, you and your fellow activists started Oiste. Why?
I worked as a legislative aide for a state senator in Massachusetts, and I realized in the state house there were hardly any Latinos. And we needed some representation, so we thought up this idea of training Latinos to run for office. That was the initial, idea of Oiste, and so we started it with that idea to get more representation.
What have you learned in the past 10 years?
Not to burn bridges. I think there's different strategies for different moments, and that's the biggest learning I've had throughout these 10 years. And I've also learned, I think, that we have a beautiful community that comes in all shapes, sizes, and colors, and that we have to understand that people come from different political backgrounds, and even though we can disagree, to respect it. And I think that's really important.
And what do you think the impact of Oiste has been?
Well, I think the biggest impact for me has been creating a political space for Latinos in Massachusetts. Whereas before, maybe 10 years ago, we weren't given enough attention by elected officials or the mainstream media. We're here politically, and people know that. We're in campaigns, we're running for office, we're leading campaigns, we're campaign managers, we're field organizers, we're in the mainstream media, and we have a political voice that people pay attention to. So we're not solely responsible for this, but I think we've put a grain of salt.
And what is next for Giovanna Negretti?
Well, I just got accepted to a national fellowship called the Eisenhower Fellowship. So I'll be traveling to Chile and Australia for 5 weeks to study the issues of identity and civic participation in indigenous communities and with women. And then who knows? Maybe I'll be looking for a job like everybody else, and hopefully maybe even running for office in some, in a few years.
Do you have a final message for our viewers?
The final message is, Oiste is an organization that we should all be proud of, and that we should all join and try to be a part of. Politics is something, when we say politics, that people shiver, but the reality is that it rules our life. Everything from how much insurance we pay in our car to health insurance to the education that we get, or how much the taxes we're going to pay for the clothes that we wear. So I think it's important that people get involved, and this is one way of getting involved. And one more thing. Believe in your dream. 10 years ago, who would have thought that we'd be here? People thought that this was not going to last 6 months or a year. 10 years later, here we are. So if you have an idea, go pursue it, make it happen. It will happen.
So in the 10 years that you've been here with Oiste, what do you hope your legacy will be?
If anything, I think people know that Oiste is a progressive Latino organization, and we don't say that we represent everyone, and everybody has different political views. I think that we've created I think my legacy as an activist here is that to create a progressive political voice for Latinos in Massachusetts. I'm very proud of that.